What?
10 years for a joke.
Oh, darn, I need a medicine.
I like it.
Nothing works well.
This is Fake or Cake, a show where we discuss some news about Russia and our international guests have to guess which one is fake. If he guesses right, we give him the cake. If not, he gets a cake to the face.
So our guest today is Hunter. Hunter comes from the US, but he lives in Russia. Let's guess why. What's up, Hunter?
Hey, what's going on? Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And why are you here?
So, well, I'd say I'm venturing into the Russian dream. So I've been here in Russia for 3 years now and got my master's degree at St. Petersburg State University, the place where Vova graduated.
Nice.
Shout out to Vova. So yeah, been studied here and liked what I saw, liked living here. Decided to stick around and see what the future has to hold.
All right. So what are your expectations for today?
Expectations. I expect to win because I'm super competitive. And Americans, we love
Do
to
you
win.
see the cake?
So no cake in the face.
No cake in my face.
Why you invite me? I actually here just for cake in the face.
Okay, well, if I win, perhaps, then you can take the cake instead of me.
To your face. Okay, so I will think about it. I have about 20 minutes to decide. It's difficult to decide.
And you speak Russian as well, right?
Конечно, говорю.
Ага. То есть, если мы начнем говорить по-русски, то ты все поймешь.
Всё.
Я тоже говорю по-русски.
Может быть, наши зрители не поймут, но Хантер поймет.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So we got 5 pieces of news, and we're going to read them one by one. So who's starting?
Yeah, so I'm going first. So first question is, Hunter, do you know a Russian company which is called Rosneft?
Yes.
What do you know about this company?
Okay, so it's one of the big energy companies here in Russia, state-owned, and yeah, it's...
Yeah, so the main point is actually this company is known that the employees of Rosneft are being very well paid.
Okay.
So now the news. The husband of one Rosneft employee organized his own kidnapping so that the wife, the employee of Rosneft, pays a ransom to release him. The reason was that she was not giving him money for betting.
Okay.
So what do you think about this news?
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually about Russian people.
creativity.
Yeah, Russian creativity.
Russians are some of the most creative people in the world, so I'm not exactly surprised by this story. Well, can I ask a couple questions? Like, where did this happen? Moscow?
Moscow. It happened in Moscow.
All the good things happen in Moscow.
Actually, I think if like this woman wasn't like an employee of Rosneft, this news won't be so popular. But the fact that something like this happened all the time, like somebody stole money or want to, I don't know, take money from the wife or from the husband and create something like this because they can't just ask or can't just agree with each other.
For real?
For real, yes, and they're just doing something like this. I think it's happened all the time, but
but
about this news we know just because of the Rosneft, just because of this phrase.
So you don't find it weird?
No, it's okay.
Actually, the guy was really creative because the kidnappers, they were threatening to cut off his genitals if she doesn't pay for it. But like, what's really what I found really curious is that why genitals? Why they were not threatening to kill him?
Yeah.
Because she could answer that. I don't need him without genitals.
Actually, everything is like
And Rosneft doesn't need him.
Yeah, and Rosneft also. Because of the relationships in the company.
Yeah, but actually, who said that women don't have rights in Russia? Like, I really wonder why the wife...
How we started to speak about it?
No, but because, why the husband is so afraid of her not giving some money to him if he's, wealthy and stuff. So I'm just...
I don't know, guys. I think women have it pretty good here in Russia. The retirement age, women, retire, 3 years earlier than men.
Is it that important?
Yeah, but because we have to pay the ransom for you, we are being under the stress.
I think it's a key for good relationships, you know. Some people play nurse nurse and patient, and they are playing ransom game. Okay, I will steal you now.
Yeah, so do you want to know how she actually found out about that it was fake?
Absolutely.
The kidnapping. So she went to the police, and the police told her that you have to pay the ransom. And so it was not too hard for her to find the money. It was 500,000 rubles. So for her, maybe not a big sum.
So cheap
money. Such a cheap husband.
Yeah.
Huh? And so the meeting to pass the money was settled at the gas station. She, being very nervous, she came with the money. She gave the money to the kidnapper, and suddenly she saw her husband calmly walking by and checking out what's going on at the station. And then that was the moment when she realized that her husband has huge debts in in almost all of the Moscow betting offices.
Wow.
And so she understood everything. And well, the news is not saying what was after that. Yeah.
We asked you to find some news about Russian creativity, not Russian stupidness.
It's like, this picture of a horse when the first part is drawn perfectly and the last part is like super bad. So that's the case of Russian creativity, because we start very well and in the end we're just getting relaxed.
Kind of like the Russian soccer team this past World Cup.
Oh,
I'm sorry, guys. I was rooting so hard. One last question from my part. What position does she have in that company? Does it say?
Well,
why do you need this information? You want to meet her and
You're looking for the wife of Rosneft.
because she's wealthy.
Personal investment.
do you like betting?
So
Do you like betting?
betting? Yeah, on sports, American football.
But be careful.
Yeah. All right.
But if you will have a wealthy wife, it's okay. You can.
Absolutely. Honestly, my Russian dream is to find a rich wife where I can be a stay-at-home dad. And just,
Really?
Yeah.
Just because it's cold outside? Right?
Yeah. There's just so many. I just want to have so much freedom. Play games.
So she should be old or how?
No. Well.
Just wealthy.
Just wealthy. Preferably young and attractive, though.
Yeah, maybe some Instagram blogger.
Yeah.
From Russia.
I hope you don't work for
Apart
Americans.
for a preview, Hunter says, I am looking for a Russian wife.
Yeah. Hey girl.
Actually, you guys know that TV show Holostack?
Yeah.
I would love to be on Holostack. So, dame gas.
Our second episode is going to be about that. No.
So, Russian trains will be aromatized. An experiment with the aromatization of carriages in passenger trains was launched in Russia. RZD states that for flavoring corridor areas of the carriages, it chose an aroma with citrus notes, and for toilets, clean and fresh aromas, whatever it means. I don't know what it means, like clean and fresh aromas. So, within 2 months, the aromas will be sprayed in some carriages of the Nevsky Express train, and they will collect their testimonials. So people will taste it, walk, and just, vote. Is it okay or not?
Hunter, have you traveled with old Russian trains?
Too many times.
For real?
Which way was the longest?
To Moscow, so it's not so hard.
No.
It was Sapsang, or Platskart?
No, it was the overnight one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you know the atmosphere of
And the smell.
And
the smell.
especially the communal one where everybody is together
Yeah.
in one cabin.
Third class.
Yeah.
So you don't know this kind of.
Okay, guys.
real-
Then just a small note. about Russian
For
trains.
those who don't,
I think we will add somewhere here some pictures. Yeah. Of course, you will not feel
Atmosphere
the
for
smell.
you.
Yeah. but it's very funny because they are very old. People can sleep there, and for example, the way from Moscow to Vladivostok lasts for I don't know 7 days. And people sometimes they don't have showers in these trains, and that's why this piece of news is a bit funny.
So cool.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Is it worth it?
I mean, it sounds like a great idea, but I don't see it being real because, you know, I've been on the trains and I don't see a whole lot of investment in making the trains the cleanest, coolest thing as possible.
Like the notes of citron, how it's called. Yes, it's very funny. Citron, yes. An aroma with citrus notes. And clean and fresh aromas. Like, I don't know, what is for you clean and fresh aromas? Like, clean and fresh.
I just want to suggest Dior to
Chanel.
to create a new perfume called Russian Platzkart.
So the level of aroma is clean and fresh means Dior.
Or the toilet.
Okay.
No, actually, I have a question. Why you said that they will spend 2 months by like infusing this aroma,
And
but
several carriages.
so they will be more expensive, probably. But my question is that like usually the aroma tends to fade away. So what happens after it fades away? Will they close again the carriages for 2 months, like infusing their
Yeah,
aroma?
but happiness is never lasting forever, so like you just enjoy for a while. No, for me, like I just wonder if you don't have showers, why would you try to like change this problem and not think of like a good solution for that? I don't know, but
But now they have some showers in some trains. It happened sometimes.
do you think
sometimes.
people
It's
use it?
like 1 out of 10. Yeah, but I like this news because like I like an aroma with citrus notes. Really, I think it's very tasty. And but the problem is, yes, the problem is that sometimes people have such a good smell of socks that I think it's impossible to.
So
They
this is the
don't
thing.
need to be flavored extra.
Exactly. So like I did a Trans-Siberian twice, right? And so people are staying there, especially like some trains, like you stay there and you just cannot go out anymore, right? And so how can you mix up those two, you know, so it doesn't make things better. It just would ruin everything. And then normally in trains nothing works well. So if we have air conditioning, like it doesn't work. So like for example, imagine that this aroma suddenly bursts out, or I don't know why, and like it becomes horrible.
I have another point. I am an allergic person.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine if there will be an allergy on this smell? Oh, sorry, I did a medicine and the train is going fast.
And you're stuck for 7 days.
And you're like dying to let me write this testimonial. I don't want this anymore.
No. Then I think
Was killed.
they need just to give you a choice of a smell of your coach, like for example grilled chicken, old socks of a grandmother, citrus,
Salami.
doshirak noodles.
Boiled eggs.
Did you eat doshirak in the train?
I don't think I have.
Oh, no, you should. All right.
It's such a big experience. Yeah, but actually, when we were talking about shower in the train, I think it's again about Russian creativity. Because when I was traveling from Baikal to St. Petersburg, I spent 4 days on the train without leaving it, and I managed to wash my hair there. What? And they were that long.
With a bottle of water?
No, like in the toilet. Not in the toilet, but in the
What?
That's creative.
That's why I have such holy hair.
It's for renewal.
Secrets of Russian beauty.
How Rapunzel got her.
Yeah, it was a long train. So yeah, I think the shower is not a problem.
So is it good news?
One question, last question for me.
Yeah.
Whose idea was this?
The idea of RGD, like the company that owns all the trains in Russia.
Yeah, sometimes in Russia it happens.
Yes,
Some
monopoly.
company owns everything.
Let them just try and let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
All right.
Russian federal censor called Roskomnadzor, I think you know about it, will require dating app Tinder. Do you use it?
No.
Never. You have a girlfriend.
I'm a
Exactly.
sophisticated man.
Yeah, okay.
I meet women the old-fashioned way.
Okay, we will cut it.
We'll come back to
Do you use it? Okay, I will continue. Sorry. So Roskomnadzor will require dating app Tinder to make all user correspondence available to law enforcement. So this federal censor added the dating app to its list of information dissemination organizers, which means that like Tinder will now be required to store all the user correspondence for 6 months and make the data available to law enforcement upon request.
Wow.
So if you by chance used it,
Yeah.
you have to know that.
Who used Tinder?
They know.
tell all your friends and stuff.
Guys, I've heard a crazy Tinder story just in the past week. So one of my
What?
best friends here, she has a friend who went on Tinder and met with a guy, and the first date, you know, it went pretty well. They went back to her place, and in the middle of the night, she like woke up, and the guy was like putting plastic on the wall. And she
Like Dexter?
like Dexter, like he was like planning like a murder, and like she called the police got, and he like ran, and it was crazy. Yes. So be careful. So
Is it a new season of Dexter? Russian version.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Sorry.
Okay, should we just go to the next news or what? No, it's not funny.
So the person
That's why it's a good news, and the Russian government is very like care about us. They,
I don't know. I don't know. They can be some like personal information, some photos, you know, something that
Yeah.
we don't want to tell.
If we just come back
But
to
I don't know.
Earth,
For example,
Yeah.
who has ever tried to use Tinder?
yeah.
For example, yes.
I
Yes,
tried.
try.
Yes.
the old man.
I haven't.
Oh, really?
I actually
How
have
did this happen?
I have a hidden profile for the last 3 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm turning it on when I'm bored.
So you have something in your messages that you feel shame of.
No.
Let me check.
Guys, Tinder is where I learned Russian. You know? Tinder is where I learned Russian. You know, I was, starting conversations without shame. Привет, красавица.
Yeah.
And just
Did you get many replies?
no, I did not. But I learned what works and
I
what
think
does not
I know
work.
why.
Actually, during the last party, we discussed with one American that he has a lot of swipe right. Yes, a lot of likes because he's American, and he's like, I'm American and I have a lot of swipes to the right just because I'm American. Do you feel the same? Just because you're from America,
You don't
you're like,
I like
it's
to think
interesting.
Because of the name Hunter.
Hunter, yes. They think that it's a fake name, maybe.
Guys, I like to think that girls like me for my personality.
Oh.
Yeah.
I also
Do they?
think the same.
I don't know.
I also hope
Now
the
I'm starting to
same.
question that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is that those policemen are also using Tinder, I guess.
Yeah, I think that that happened.
Why not?
Yeah, but that happened because some head of Roskomnadzor or of a government just wanted to check his wife's conversations or his wife's
Or maybe they were
his
rejected.
daughter's conversations, and they just okay, I will add this.
But they
law.
have this data.
Yes, and after I think after this news there should be a lot of like memes.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
There's like this government guy just swipe you right.
Yeah. It's a match.
Yeah, I think we will add them. Someday.
Maybe.
Well, honestly, it makes sense because the other platforms like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, all of them have been under the same pressure to.
Yes, LinkedIn is forbidden here actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the reason because they wouldn't give over the data.
Yeah,
So.
super.
Yeah, but
super.
what do you think about it? Like, is it good or bad? Because
It's normal.
these laws about like and Roskomnadzor
Doesn't make sense.
I think it makes a little bit more sense. I mean, especially in terms of like the world we live in today with so much terrorism and basically
crazy people around.
Crazy people doing that sort of stuff. I think it gives law enforcement. I think it gives the good guys more tools to keep us safe. And so I'm genuinely for it, I guess.
Yeah, actually, what I'm thinking right now about these guys who are going to check the conversations, like, you know, many TV series right now are finishing, coming to the end, like Game of Thrones. So the guys have nothing to do, and they decide, how about checking the conversations on Tinder? So they can follow your personal life and then calling you like, how is this going with this girl? So.
But my point was because it's my news, so.
So you prepared some points, okay?
I prepared something that I think Tinder has to add the third mode. Now they have the basic mode where you have, I don't know, 20 swipes and like per day, and like they show you less times. They have Tinder Gold where you can see who likes you and choose and blah blah blah. And the third mode is Товарищ майор, like Roskomnadzor mode.
How would it work?
You can read all the conversations of your pair.
Really?
And see if she is good or bad.
How many partners do you have?
I would call it like stalker mode.
Or hunter mode.
You would like it, yeah. So, did you watch the series Chernobyl?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Lots of good things about it though.
Oh, yeah, me too. I haven't watched it neither, but yeah. So, the head of the Chinese travel agency was arrested for organizing tours to Chelyabinsk instead of Chernobyl. Right.
It's Chinese creativity.
So the head of the Ministry of Energy of China detected the fraud because he bought the tickets to Chernobyl for himself and his family, but he had already visited Chernobyl before in the 80s, so some like time ago. So he easily figured the scam.
You know,
what do you think about laws of China? 10 years for a joke.
It's not a joke, you know. Actually, sometimes I work as a tour guide, and actually it lies, like you have to pay a lot for a lie, because people sometimes mention that you say something strange, not true, because you forget something. And also I know that in St. Petersburg, some Chinese again was caught because they told some wrong stuff about the Hermitage or the Dvorcovaya Square. They call it even other names, like the Hermitage they called the Dark Palace.
What?
Yes, really, like the
Why?
Dark Palace. I don't know, like in Chinese. And some people translated, and now they cancel them as a tours. It's amazing. So it's not a joke, you know. It's irresponsibility.
No, but I think like it happens a lot that you confuse the names, right? It's even like in Austria you have this caption at the airport, like it's not Australia, or like you have similar names. I think in the US maybe as well, right? So
And especially if the name is not like your native tongue. If you're using foreign language, it's even harder to keep track of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Also, another story, sorry, like Chernobyl, it's like trigger for me. I have a lot of stories, but it's not about Chernobyl. When I was in Berlin once, I had to visit the event, and I went to the street, and it happened that the event is on the other street, but they have the same name, you know, and I came to another street just because the Berlin has 2 streets with the same names. So it's strange that people didn't notice actually that they came to Chelyabinsk. They should be written on the ticket.
But I think
It's written in English or it's written in Russian.
Russian.
But
maybe
they were Chinese.
Yeah, no way. Even in English, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think if you buy like a tour, then you just don't take care of anything, and you just trust your guide, and it bring me somewhere.
I just wanted to add that, like, to be like fair, sometimes some parts of Russian cities look like Chernobyl.
I saw some photos of Chelyabinsk, and it's just full of smoke and just very, very dark roads. And also, maybe this guide saved lives of these people, because Chernobyl is really dangerous to visit right now because radiation is
it
unpredictable.
even allowed to do excursions there?
Yes, it's allowed, but with special groups and special regions, because some regions are still very and for example, you can, for example, mushrooms, which are just on the forest, they collect radiation, and if you like look at the duration of the mushrooms, it will be very high because they collect it itself. So it's very unpredictable to go to Chernobyl right now. But some people do it.
Yeah, but to me it's crazy because Chernobyl is in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so it's crazy that these people would have to have gotten a visa.
Well, visa probably not.
The Chinese people don't need visas to Russia.
I don't know what's the law right now.
Maybe it's the whole tour, so you cross Russia as well.
I feel like they'd have to get a visa. They'd have to go. You know that you're going to Ukraine, not Russia.
I would like to ask you first a question. Hunter, have you ever seen a black snow?
Black snow.
Yeah, snow of black color.
I've seen Jon Snow.
In real life.
I've seen White Snow, Snow White.
Snow White. No.
Yeah, so there is actually a region in Russia where this winter they had a black snow. But recently, one group of people living in one city called Chelyabinsk from this region, they addressed Canadian government. So now I'll read the news.
Okay.
Canada responds to Siberian environment asylum seekers. A group of Siberian residents who asked for Canadian asylum over the weekend, citing worsening environmental conditions, will only be able to apply for this status if they left Russia. Residents of the Siberian coal mining town of Chelyabinsk posted a video appeal for asylum addressed to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. In the appeal, they cited the deteriorating ecological situation in their hometown. So basically, they are saying that 100 families from this small city, Chelyabinsk, they are ready to leave Russia and they would like to move to Canada, and they are asking Justin Trudeau to give them the asylum, let's say that. When they were asked why Canada, they said that they chose to apply for asylum in Canada because its climate is similar to Siberia's.
Okay, interesting point. It's like a good system, healthcare, like calm people, I don't know, different languages, they can call whatever they want, and they just the same climate, like my hometown.
Yeah, I've never heard that as a plus. The climate of Siberia.
It's a plus. So they made a video, yes. To the Prime Minister.
Yeah, they were addressing the Canadian Prime Minister and the UN Secretary General, asking for the asylum because they have black snow, because they don't have clean water,
and because they want the same nature.
How did you extend it? Did they just post it online?
No, they recorded a video and posted on YouTube.
On YouTube? So did it, sounds weird.
Yeah,
did it even get to them?
And actually, the Canadian government responded to them. That's from what I started the news.
And what they say? They said they need to leave Russia.
They said, "Come, we're waiting for you." No, they just said, we might help you, but you need to leave Russia.
Okay.
Usually it means when we will think about it, it means fuck off.
Pretty much.
Hunter, would you like to get visas or citizenship, or have an opportunity to get a citizenship by recording a video? Okay, hello, Mr. President, I'm Hunter and I want to go to China.
Honestly, it works, especially here in Russia. There's a couple of Americans who have done it, and other people.
Yes.
Putin has the yearly annual press conference where he talks for 7 hours, which is really impressive if you ask me, because I can only talk for maybe 2 hours. But yeah, I think it would work. I want Russian citizenship because I live here. I think it'll make my life a little bit easier, and plus.
So time to ask now.
Здесь должна быть sad music.
Хочу просить вам. Мне возможно стать русским гражданином? Пожалуйста. Я обещаю вам, что я хорошая инвестиция.
Well, if Canadian governments watch YouTube, maybe Russian government watch
Perhaps, especially.
I mean, after Tinder. They do.
Yeah, watching Tinder then. Why not? I think it's 21st century. Media influence a lot in our life, and I think it's like super nice that it's part of me, you know, part of you, like this, and they just. Oh,
That's the cool thing about social media is that you can talk to pretty much anyone in the world, even like the president, the prime minister.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, but the only one thing that I can't talk with Beyonce. So I write her several times and she never answers me. I don't know why.
Today, right?
Yes, 7 times a day. Actually I have a clock to write her again. So it's the only person I think who you couldn't reach, Beyonce. But
Well, that's
Prime
good.
Minister is okay.
She's
Yeah.
basically a goddess.
Canada.
You know, it's hard to talk to a goddess.
Yeah, yeah. No,
True.
true.
May I have some more attention of Vladimir Vladimirovich?
Why?
Okay. Vladimir Vladimirovich.
You're thinking about serious problems. I'm just thinking about Snow Angel in the black snow.
Black Angel.
The black snow, that's from the coal.
Yeah, from the coal.
And it's true, they're burning the coal. Or
No, they are
No,
mining it.
And then because of the bombs, like.
I still don't believe like snow is water. It can be black. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's true that the snow can be black there because I have relatives there.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually, the news is saying that this city became very popular during the winter after the pictures of black snow appeared online. So,
Is it hard? What you heard?
Yeah. I think
Not
I'm narrowing it
obvious.
down to.
Wait. Let me repeat them.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will prepare the cake.
Roma was
Yeah.
waiting for it.
So hunters got only one chance to guess which news is true or fake, or like fake. The first one was about Rosneft and the kidnapping of this guy. Then second one about the carriages of RGD, which are getting aromatized. Then Tinder news, Chelyabinsk versus Chernobyl, and Canada.
Okay.
Wait. We need to increase tension.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna work you through my logic. Yeah. The first one. What was the first one again?
Rosneft.
Rosneft.
fake kidnapping.
Believable. Lots of schemes going on. Lots of business innovation here in Russia. Second, there's a lot of people, trying to do charity work here, and that sounds like a charity, like an idea to change the world for the better. I like it. Three, what was three?
Tinder.
Oh, believable, totally. Four, not so believable. Number five, not so believable. Actually, I think number four is the
Number
fake.
4, which one?
It's Chernobyl.
Are you sure? Do you see
Are you sure?
the cake?
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I'm 95%.
Okay, then I need the.
You need the song?
And you are right. It's for you. Yeah, but it was hard because there were three news.
Bad content, sorry guys. No trash, no
Right, bye.
bad
Can I make a
content.
thank you speech?
Okay.
Yeah.
And put the next to the cake.
I just want to thank Mom, Dad, for all the times you guys invested in me when you read me the news, and I'm so
That you grew up so smart.
That I grew up. I want to thank the Graduate School of Management at St. Petersburg State University for educating me, making me the man I am today. And I want to thank.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the challenge.
The first episode is done!
Yeah, guys. So you can comment below on on the country from which we can invite our next guest for next week episode, and see you next time. Basically, yeah, it's kind of hard to understand the Russian soul. It can be unpredictable, but only the true fans can distinguish the fake news. So see you next cake.
See you.